Well, turned down for what is what I always say. Welcome to the Foolish Tech Show. And if you are joining us from YouTube or Google+, jump over to foolishtechshow.com or foolishit.com/live. You can join our IRC chat and talk directly with us. Ask us any questions about support or our products or what's going on. We'll talk to you from there on the air here. And also, we are still having our leftovers Thanksgiving sale for 20% off. So if you're looking to save a little bit, even after the Black Friday, Cyber Monday stuff, jump on over to foolishit.com. You can get Crypto Prevent all variants, including unlimited, D72 subscriptions, upgrade your DMZ account, and DSupport Suite and DunnInstaller, all for 20% off. So jump on over. How's it going, everyone?
It is going well.
Good.
Bueno, bueno. Well, just yelling into the air. I got a couple links today, unless you guys want to pick up on your talking about the stuff you were talking about, if you want to explain that.
Okay, well, recently in one of our shows we were talking about
OpenElec.
Kodi and the video streaming players. And last night I set up a Windows video server called Plex.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really, really nice. It's at plextv.com. I'm sorry, plex.tv. I'd show it to you.
Are you going to post it in the chat?
Yeah.
Cool.
Share my screen. All right. All right. Plex has a lot of interesting features. You can store your own video content, photo content on the server, and then you're able to view it on your televisions, your smart TVs. It's accessible via Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, Xbox, PlayStation. A lot of different platforms that allow you to access it. It's free for most of the features. They have some premium content. Some of the things that the premium service would allow you to do is to have users and managed accounts on your server, cloud sync, some integration with other services, camera uploads. But I set this up last night. It was really easy to set up, and it works really well. And you can also access it via the web. So my server is actually at home. But I'm able to access my content, over the internet. The interface is really intuitive, very fast. It's fast streaming, movies over the internet from my server that's at home. So it's something you should really look into. It's really easy to set up. It took me 5 minutes probably to set it up. It's a small program. It's really awesome.
I like the simplified interface. That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. You can view view shows by what you're recently watched, recently added. There's an option to set up what you want to watch later. You can categorize things into channels, playlists, and TV shows, or I think TV shows is a folder on the server that I created. You're able to go back and start watching from where you left off, even if it's you started watching something at home. You can go off-site and access it via the web and still connect to it and pick up where you left off watching. To be able to view it on mobile devices, you do have to pay for their premium service. The good thing about the premium service, it's not that expensive. It's either $5 a month, $40 a year, or $150 for a lifetime. So it's a really, really good value. I was really surprised at how well it worked and how easy it was to set up for
now,
a
this
free
is integrated
product.
in on Samsung TVs typically, isn't it now?
Yes, a lot of
The
TVs
newer
have
ones,
it. Yeah,
the
a
newer
lot of
ones?
smart TVs have it integrated, or you can add it to your smart televisions.
What's
Yeah.
the server requirements for your, like, you have to have Windows or?
That's a good question.
My buddy does it, and he's
Okay,
running Windows.
Windows, Macs, Linux, and BSD.
Cool. Your buddy does it in what?
Does it in Windows. Is running the server component on Windows, I believe.
I assume that's probably what Proctor set up too.
Yeah, I set it up on my laptop under Windows 10.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's right. That's I'm in a couple minutes late here, but that's low overhead and very easy to do, right? I mean.
Yeah, it was super easy to do. I was up and running in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, the baby, had woken up last night and needed a bottle, and then I couldn't go back to sleep, so I'm like, I'm gonna go play around on the computer for a few minutes, and had this set up in 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I heard, and that's one of the, I think, reasons why it was maybe so quickly integrated by some of the TV manufacturers and got a lot of support. And I think it was bought out. I think Samsung bought it out, didn't they?
I don't know for sure.
Thinking about that, because I think they were
Jeez.
purchased.
Samsung bought Boxy and Plex. It's crazy.
Or maybe I was thinking about Boxy, or maybe Boxy bought Plex. I don't know, but I think there's
Somebody bought somebody somewhere.
there's shifting hands, yeah. Well, yes.
Well, it works on a lot of platforms. I mean, Windows, Apple. It works with Apple TV, Android,
Very neutral, yeah.
Amazon, Fire, Chromecast, Roku, Samsung, Vizio, LG, Linux, Xbox, PlayStation, NVIDIA.
So Vizio, LG are behind it. Yeah, it's got a lot of support apparently. Well, probably will hang around
Might be
for a while.
Might be a good time to purchase a lifetime subscription before prices go up.
Possibly.
Or it could get bought out and then you don't have a product.
The NVIDIA one's interesting. I'm assuming they mean the NVIDIA Shield,
Yes.
which I'm really disappointed that they stopped their handheld one. I kind of wanted to get one of those, but
Yeah, I don't know. We had talked about, why, it should just be a computer and not a dedicated gaming device a little bit as well at the end of the day. So, I don't know. I guess it could go both ways. There just has to be a demand for it and a market for it, and if people weren't willing to buy it, I suppose.
well, they
But they've
started
got-
focusing on the tablet and controller version. And it's like, why would you want a separate tablet and a controller? Why wouldn't you want them integrated? That's so much nicer.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I thought there would have been demand for it. Honestly, I thought that was being well received, and I thought the its ability to stream like Steam games and other things, play them well, was a big plus. But
And if you have a compatible NVIDIA card, you can stream from your computer.
Yeah, and that's kind of huge as well. A lot of people want that feature. It's one of the reasons why I think a lot of people spend the extra money for some NVIDIA cards that they do. Although you can sort of do the same thing with AMD. But
after setting this up, I just happened to think that if you have your media server set up, then you need to get some content on it. So I wanted to go over how to rip your own DVDs that you own to the computer, so that you could put the files on the server, so you can watch your videos via your files via your Plex server.
Especially nice if you have small children that ruin DVDs.
Oh yeah. An open source and free application to do that is HandBrake.
It's crazy. HandBrake's been around since the beginning. Transcoding.
Post the link in the
very
chat.
well-known name, but it is not the only one.
Simple to download it for Mac, Windows, Ubuntu.
Yeah, see, I don't like transcoding so much. That's my the only reason why I probably wouldn't go this route. I don't think it's a bad route, but I like to keep it in closest to the original format as possible. And the transcoding time is intensive. One of my friend who does this with Plex, he spends a good bit of time. I mean, I know I spend some time too, like ripping from actual disks, but he spends a lot of time transcoding as well. Another good reason to get a properly powerful computer to speed that up potentially, because video cards can accelerate that, and modern systems can generally do that pretty quickly. I'm not saying it's a downside to it, but just consider it as part of what needs to be done to get your library on board this, right?
Yeah. Another application to do this would be AnyDVD from Slysoft.
I'm a huge fan of AnyDVD.
I have AnyDVD and Clone DVD.
Oh yeah, they're solid. Solid.
I purchased it many years ago. I don't even remember how much.
It's a one-time purchase. You get like lifetime.
I think I might have got it on sale for $75 for the combo.
They're really good like
lifetime.
that. It's not, I mean, it's not incredibly cheap per se, but it's for lifetime. I mean, $75 one-off, and it's been my most used application probably throughout the years, to tell you the truth.
Now, granted, I really haven't used either of them in a long time. Granted, I've gotten plenty of use out of both over the years. I just
daily basis.
I don't mess with it so much anymore.
But you know, discs are going away. You know, so that's the only thing is if you don't have to deal with physical discs, if you don't have to deal with DVDs, if you don't have to deal with Blu-rays, then you know don't get it. It's not going to help you. But if you do, it's definitely worthwhile, in my opinion, especially if you can get it at that one-time cost.
Yeah,
it's a little more expensive now. It's going to set you back close to $200 for any DVD and clone CD and DVD.
See, I spent only about I think it was 75 to 100 when I did it. Can't remember.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's what it was when I did it.
Yeah, if we do any DVD and clone DVD, you're looking at 105 euros. But if you go with any DVD HD, so that you can.
Oh, mine did HD. Mine was HD. That's why maybe I spent on.
It's 100, almost 150 euros.
Wow. I split it between a buddy of mine. Kind of went in halvesies on it.
But it's still a good deal for a lifetime subscription. These guys have been around for a long time.
Yeah, they're well established.
Yeah, I'm absolutely.
They're in. What are they in? Antigua or something like that? Antigua or something?
Not sure.
I thought it was like Scotland. I can't remember. My bank called me within like 2 minutes of me purchasing it.
Yeah, I know.
They
made
a purchase, and they said where it was coming from.
Okay.
But man, it's been so long ago, I can't remember.
They're always, people have attempted to go after these guys since the get-go, but I mean, they've been doing it for so long now, and nobody's ever stopped them, that I find it hard to believe that they ever will be stopped. So I don't have any problem with them. I'd recommend them, and they're certainly their history kind of speaks for itself. The products, they deliver them. There's no, in my opinion, there's zero risk. They just do what they have to do on the back end to make sure that they abide within their particular country's law, whatever that country may be. It might have no laws, possibly, but yeah.
I'm going to post a link in the chat about how to rip DVDs to your computer using HandBrake. So it has a video and a good article on how to use HandBrake.
Now, the reason you wouldn't always be able to use HandBrake is because if it has the encryption DRM stuff on it, right?
That's true, but this article actually shows you how to obtain a DLL that'll break the encryption.
Yeah, definitely. Give me that link.
I tested it earlier and was able to, able to rip a copyrighted DVD with it.
Oh, that's cool.
Right.
I used to back up my personal DVDs so I could have a backup copy in case of tragedy. And
I know.
I had to use a combination of AnyDVD and HandBrake, so I would rip it and then transcode it.
That's the beauty of AnyDVD. You could then use any other utility you wanted after AnyDVD to do it, HandBrake or whatever else. Pick your poison.
And AnyDVD runs in the background, so you ain't even got to fiddle with it.
Yeah, it does its thing, and it's almost like magic. I'd say it's right up there with the type of features we would offer in one of our products. Yeah.
What are you doing? I'm fiddling.
Leave my terminology alone.
Here's another link that shows you how to use AnyDVD.
Oh, I think I need to get in the chat. Shit. Oh, crap. I wasn't in the chat. Come on. Post those links one more time.
No.
They'll be in the show notes after the show.
Oh, come on. Message me them really quick, would you? So I don't have to.
It just did. You weren't there to get it.
I have a record of that. That I can go back to. I can't on the IRC if I'm not logged in. I wasn't recording that part of it, apparently.
I can't just copy easily.
Here, Michael, it's kind of a mess, but put it in the office chat.
That's fine. Whatever. I'll figure it out. Thanks, though.
Oh, now you sound disappointed.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I went through all that trouble.
Did they not make it pretty enough?
Use guys.
Don't be fiddling with it.
God, having 48 inches of screen to move around is a little bit frustrating sometimes.
48 inches of screen?
My horizontal, yeah.
I just read a funny today I learned on Reddit, because I get it on my watch randomly. And it says that today I learned that Bob Barker was trained as a Navy fighter pilot in World War II, but wasn't sent to a fleet squadron in time to fight. He once said, "I was all ready to go, and when the enemy heard that I was headed for the Pacific, they surrendered." That was the end of World War II.
Nice. Yeah, I had actually heard that story before.
I thought the Japanese surrendered the day after Chuck Norris was born.
Oh, there's a lot of stories around Chuck and him. By the way, they both have a large following of people.
So instead, I started The Price is Right.
So, do you think he has the big wheel in his house? Like, does he just spin it every once in a while?
Nah, he's probably just got Plinko.
Family get-togethers.
Family get-togethers. Yeah. He pulls out the mic.
Also, go ahead, Tank.
No, never mind.
Okay. Well, several shows ago, we talked about the fact that email is not secure, that your emails are not, encrypted in transit. And just this week, I had to send some information to a banker, and I explained to him how I was going to put it in an encrypted zip file, and he knew how to use zip files and understood that I wanted it to be safe and everything, and so I sent him the zip file in an email and called him and told him the password for the zip file. While I was talking to him, I got a bounce back on the email because it was too big for his email server to accept it. So he suggested I fax it to him. And I'm like, well, okay. I'm thinking, okay, Mike could do that. And he's like, well, just and it comes and you don't have to worry about your privacy because it comes directly to me in my email.
Nice.
Which we just talked about being insecure in the first place.
that is interesting because I think HIPAA regulations actually are okay with people faxing and would prefer it. But nowadays you have so many virtual faxes that just go through email that's just as insecure, let alone the fact that faxing is not secure in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, how many times did somebody turn around and somebody walked away with something from the fax machine? I mean, we were in a busy office, and there was like, well, there were fax machines, but it wasn't.
And lots of businesses still fax personal information.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was actually fairly secure at one point, but it was fairly secure at one point, but not in this day and age of VoIP.
Well, what I ended up doing was resizing the zip file and emailing it to him in the encrypted file. But,
that's cool.
We were, in our previous discussion about email, we were talking about how people didn't realize that it was insecure, and I was having a conversation with him about it, and it still wasn't dawning on him that it was not secure.
Got to use the postcard thing.
Yeah. Oh, hey. Yeah. I wasn't trying to teach him about email on the phone then, but I love that analogy.
Yeah. Katie just joined the chat. Hi, Katie from Spice World. Spice Works.
Always enjoy having you, Katie. Welcome.
All right,
yeah. Katie wants to know what we think about the creative workup that they sent us.
Yeah, I have them here if we want to show them off.
That's fine with me.
Hold on a second.
That sounds like perfect content for the show. I'm on board with that.
All right. Well, here they are, and Nick and I already said we liked them. I like the nitty-gritty feel of the cutout newspaper.
Yeah, I liked the D72 one.
Yeah, I like that.
Isn't this the robot from
Yeah, it is.
that space show?
Yeah. Lost in Space?
Danger.
Danger.
That's the one, Proctor.
Yeah, Lost in Space.
Yeah, I like them. Katie, you have our approval.
And pimping your swag on the show.
Woohoo!
Spice Works in the house, Austin.
That's yesterday's news. 2016.
Darn it. Whatever.
Well, I guess it's still in Austin, but whatever. Yeah, that's.
They are a go-ahead. The banners, we like ye. You don't have to fiddle with them anymore. I'm going to use that term all day, Tank.
Go ahead, it's a good term.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that was pleasant.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that, guys.
Right in my ear. Not literally.
Well, it should be right in your ear if you have your headphones on. Oh, not yeah. He didn't cough, right?
I'm going Star Trek to Wrath of Khan with the ear little mites or whatever that they had in that.
You're going to a Star Trek con?
No. But I want one of those.
You got ear mites
With
for Star Trek?
yeah, I
Colin?
was just gonna say with ear mites.
No, with those little mind control desert bugs. Yeah.
Well, now that I was late to the party, because I was doing womanly duties,
Womanly duties.
I didn't see
You
the
said duty.
banner,
Hold on.
and I'm not in the chat, so I can't talk to Katie.
Oh well, we can rectify.
You can talk to her over the airwaves.
Yeah, she can hear you. She can
Oh,
hear
I just have to ask her about a onesie.
What?
I get it
I
now.
knew
I
you
get
wouldn't.
I get it.
Did you say a onesie?
Yeah.
As in baby attire?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want a onesie for Ethan if they have them.
Mm.
Spiceworks.
Like a Spiceworks onesie.
Mhm. She called me while I was at the hospital when Jackie had Noah, and she was like, "I can't believe you're answering work calls at the hospital." I was like, "Well, I still have to work."
It's not my baby.
Yeah. So here are the banners if you're not looking.
I am looking. That's cool.
Very nice.
Purdy. Days is purdy.
They are nice.
Very
Dang, I can't get in the chat.
Why can't you get in the chat?
Mm. Foolish Tech Show is not coming up. Like if you go to foolishtechshow.com.
Ah, the name is not resolving.
You're correct. It is not.
Foolishit.com/live is this.
What's what? Huh? What's not resolving?
FoolishTechShow.com.
Name server change. GoDaddy's horribly slow.
So if
That's why I'm
anyone's
getting off of them.
watching on YouTube or Google Plus, join us at foolishit.com/live. That will allow you to get on the IRC chat and talk with us. So, some interesting ransomware news I heard about
Uh-oh.
is that ransomware and those scammy tech support sites are teaming up together. So one of them encrypts your files and asks for ransom. The other one is displaying messages about your computer being infected and overcharging you to fix it. So they're on the run and teaming up together. And in addition to that, Lifehacker yesterday had a pretty in-depth article on how to protect yourself from malvertising. You want to check that out. They have some interesting tips there. Then they also had another one on troubleshooting Windows 10 with the reliability monitor, and this is something, I think that's the performance and stat stuff that didn't that come out in Windows 7 or Vista possibly, and looks like they've improved it a lot and given you a lot more options with Windows 10 being the reliability monitor. I haven't actually looked into it myself, but maybe good for people with clients that are having random issues. You can kind of use it to track things over time and possibly narrow things down that way. And another link that I had found was CodeAcademy, which I like for if you're trying to get into learning coding. They have a Learn Git course now for about 2 hours, and you can go through and learn about Git and how that works for source management, so you can not fall into the XKCD version of Git, which I just posted there. And we have recently started using Git. Nick, do you feel that this XKDC is akin to Git? I can zoom it up here. There we go. I like this XKDC because it, or CD, because it doesn't just apply to Git. There's several things that you could probably apply this to. How does it work? No idea. Just memorize. Try again. And if anyone's looking for a new box mod for the holidays, Sigelei's come out with their 200 watt temperature control box mod, and it's only $69.
Why is it so cheap?
I don't know. Because they're doing so well that they decrease their prices.
What's the original Sigelei 150 going at now? Like 40 or something?
That wasn't the original, but the 150 temperature control is at 99.
So, So, it sounds like there's almost a downside to maybe going with the 200. And I'm never going to use 150, let alone 200, so...
But you have it there and available.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a really nice form factor. The temperature control one kind of has like this little pump thing for the 150, and the 200 one looks like it goes back to the box mod style, but they have like slanted it, so it looks kind of interesting. Sigelei's have been my favorite though. Oh, and for anyone out there looking to donate to nonprofits this holiday season, dig.com, someone you don't think about coming up with their own articles, actually had a pretty good article about how to vet nonprofits before you give to them.
That's worth a read for me, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Do you recommend doing this before we give that?
What?
Oh, do you recommend we follow this procedure before we approve of nonprofits?
Sure, you probably don't have to check and see where they're spending, actually, but just vetting them in general is probably decent. Uh-oh. And HBO has already started to tease the next season of Game of Thrones. Do you watch that, Proctor?
Yeah, I'm watching the season 5 right now.
Share the teaser link here.
I watch seasons 1 through 4 on DVD, but season 5 I'm watching on HBO now.
I really like
HBO streaming service.
Yeah, I really like HBO's online streaming.
Yeah.
Have they opened it up to everyone yet, or is it still only for Apple?
It's open.
And
I'm using it on my Roku.
Is it the same as HBO Go, where you get access to all the TV shows and all the seasons?
I haven't been using it long enough to know. I'm not sure.
Because I used to have an HBO subscription back when I had cable, and I had the HBO Go, which HBO Go is the one that if you have an HBO subscription, you get for free automatically.
Right.
HBO Now is the streaming only service. But HBO Go was awesome. Like, they had about 200 to 250 movies that you could stream anytime, and they switched them out about every month or so, so they kept rotating content. And then their TV section was awesome because it had literally all of their TV series, all the seasons, all the episodes up until the latest one. And when they aired one, they would have it on by midnight of that next day.
Okay, I'm on HBOnow.com.
Anybody on the cloud?
It says all HBO programming, series, movies, documentaries, sports specials, and more are on HBO Now and on HBO Go.
Nice. I really liked it because, like, you could go back and watch all the episodes of Oz, which they haven't had on the air for a long, long time. And Carnival, they have all the episodes from that, even though it only had 2 seasons. Highly recommend that show if you haven't seen it. Check out Carnival.
Aren't a lot of the HBO shows on Amazon Prime if you have that?
They are, but Amazon Prime only gets a certain number of them. Like, you don't get access to everything. Like, HBO gave them, like, limited access for it. Glenn says that he was reading the link from Lifehacker protecting from malvertising. And he says the advice is what he's already doing for his client, so excellent. Good work there, Glenn. And he's also added another bit there of forcing application updates via Ninite or Patch My PC, which is definitely a good thing to add on there. You may even want to post that into their comments, Glenn, if you didn't see that in their comment section already, because that is one of the biggest places. Because, I mean, the way most hackers and attackers can get in is through security vulnerabilities and other programs, and that's what those updates normally try to take care of. I think Chrome's latest release, is it 47? They did redo the PDF viewer, which we had talked about earlier not being up to snuff, and they completely redid that because they heard us talking about it. And but the other thing is they mainly patched, I think it was 41 security vulnerabilities with that, plus more bug fixes. So definitely a good idea to stay up to date on your programs and applications and updates. That is kind of what I actually do like about the Windows 10 update system, is forcing people to have updates, because so many times I had worked on people's computers and they were like service packs behind. It was ridiculous. Glenn also suggests removing Flash and Java, and that helps heaps. But then people can't play their games, Glenn. Their games are based on Flash and
What?
Java.
What? Okay, you got problems if that's the only type of games you're playing. Why don't you stick to your cell phone then, and just do away with your desktop?
You're a bitter asshole, Michael. I mean, really. Like, my mom doesn't have a cell phone, like the smartphone, and she uses desktop game. Her games need that crap.
No offense to your mother.
Yeah, why are you talking about his mom like that, Michael?
I know, right? You're just talking about my mom like that.
Glenn even said, games! He said Wild Tangent is on his auto uninstall. Assuming with
Man,
the
and
uninstaller to auto uninstall.
And her thing is just playing games off of Zone and MSN Zone and places like that.
Mm-hmm.
Pogo or Logo or I don't know.
Yeah, and
Pogo, I think it is.
Pogo.com I think is one that does require Java.
Yeah, because she's on to me about that because she's using Chrome and, you know.
Yeah. So yeah, there are people out there that do those. That's why those are so popular. But we talked about Flash being renamed because Adobe is getting such bad press about everyone wants to kill Flash, which apparently they don't realize that just renaming it is not going to stop them from not supporting it anymore. I think Firefox has already set that they're not going to support Flash, and Chrome already emulates Java basically with their own virtual manager. So those are going towards the wayside, I think, but probably not fast enough. Not fast enough. Cool. Well, that's the limit of my link abilities. Got anything else we want to go over? Bueller?
I wanted to go over parental control software and some internet child safety things, but I'm not sure if we have enough time. I might want to dedicate a whole show to that.
Yeah. That's enough for a whole show, I think, or at least a good part of one.
Well, if you want to go over what you've found so far, then we can dive into them more later.
Okay, maybe I'll just briefly mention some of the products and give out some links, and then get more into it next time.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for scenes from next week's show. Go, bro.
Good call, Tank.
Here's a link from Lifehacker on how do I set up non-annoying parental controls on all of my devices. And they go through how to, set up parental controls on your phones and tablets, game consoles, set-top boxes, and on your PC, various different web browsers. Let me post that link in the chat. If I can. A free and somewhat simple to set up parental control service I found is OpenDNS. Find that link. Called OpenDNS Family Shield. And this with no 3 on the end. This is a free service, and what it does is it provides you with alternative DNS servers to use on your computer or in your router that are set up to block various different types of content, adult content, and pre-configured content that you might want to block. They have the totally pre-configured setup, and then they also have a customizable setup. Both of these are free. They do have a paid service that's $20 a year. I'm not sure exactly what's the extra things that come in that. I think whitelists are one of the options that come in the $20 a year package. But that's really easy to set up, and I'll get more into the setup on another show. But that was really simple and a good way of blocking content either on individual computers or on your whole network if you set up use their DNS servers in your router at home.
Mm-hmm. You can also use internet gateways, like we talked about on a previous show, to block things at the gateway level, and you can use those in conjunction with the OpenDNS services or any of the DNS services that offer that.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Good. I guess a good layered approach too.
Yeah, and if you go with like Untangle, you'd get nice reports about where those devices are going and stuff too, so you can see if things are getting through that shouldn't be. Because that's blocking those services is also like the blocking malware and things like that. Like they have to know about them to be able to stop them, and like there's new sites that come out every day, so they might not always know about those sites, so your kids might have content for a few days before it ends up getting blocked. But if you have a reporting system and you're checking over those reports on a consistent basis, you can keep an eye on them that way.
So,
and a concern I've had at home with my kids is that they're in front of screens for too many hours a day, and the doctor recommends they only spend 2 hours a day in front of any kind of screen, whether it would be a tablet, a television, computer, any type of screen. And I found that my kids are just wanting to stay in front of some kind of screen almost all the time. So I've come up with a system where they have to they have vouchers, and they have to turn in a voucher in order to get a certain block of time. And actually what I come up with today is actually Printable Money. And got a $10 bill here. It's you can actually insert a picture in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a picture of my face on this fake $10 bill and give my kids a $10 bill.
At least you didn't go for the $100 bill.
A $10 bill gets you 10 minutes of screen time, and that's a good. That's how I'm going to limit their screen time. And also, I thought it is a good way to teach them the value of $1 too, because they're actually having to give something up for.
Yeah, they're having to pay for screen time.
Yeah.
I would
really get to them and charge them tax.
I know
Okay,
this.
Tank. Don't
Yeah.
take it too far.
I know
But
this.
it's gonna. You can use your 30 minutes, but I'm gonna have to take back 3 minutes of it for tax.
Mhm.
And if they change their mind, I'll charge a restocking fee.
I would actually recommend putting their own faces on it. That way, like, you won't have any arguments in the future of, she took my $10.
Oh, that's a very good idea.
Yeah.
I definitely see that happening.
So if you put their faces on it, it's like, that's not your $10.
Yeah, that's definitely a good idea. I think that's how I'll do it.
Yeah, that would actually that is definitely a good two-prong approach to getting people. Glenn also mentioned that he uses K9 web protection, but he's looking for a better one. So maybe in our future show we'll go over some of the pros and cons of different things like that.
Okay, yeah, I'll take a look at K9. Thanks, Glenn.
How are they? Are you just allotting them an allowance, or are you making them do chores to earn the money and then they can pay back their?
Well, originally I was just going to give them the vouchers, but now that I've thought about the currency idea, I mean they do have to do chores, which they earn an actual real money allowance for. But you know, working this in there too would be a good idea.
Mm-hmm. Probably adding it.
Like bonus credits.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do a little something extra, you get a little something extra, you know.
Yeah, well, my son has had some difficulties with behavior in school, and they send home a daily report, and there are different colors as to how their behavior was, and orange is not so good, but not too terribly bad, and green is pretty good, and I think blue is excellent. I'm not sure what the worst one. I don't remember what the worst one is, but if he gets anything less than a green, he's not allowed to have any screen time that evening. So that's maybe I could give him his play currency only if he comes home with a good report from school that day.
Sounds like a good plan.
So you earn $20 for being good at school. That's crazy. I don't think they ever had anything like that when I was in school.
Yeah, me either.
Daily report cards about behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was in school, if you didn't do good in school, you really got crap. You got it when you got home.
That's interesting. Are you gonna do the coins even?
I don't know that I'll go that far.
You're not going to do change if they only spend 15 of the 30 minutes in front of a screen?
No, yeah, the minimum purchase is 10 minutes.
Glenn said his daily reports were red marks on his butt.
Can they like hoard them up and then eventually like spend a whole Saturday in front of a TV?
No, your money's only good for
child rearing, right?
Hey, children are crafty.
Play currency is only good for that day.
I don't know. I would actually probably encourage the saving aspect, Proctor.
Well, that would be a good thing, but the original purpose of this was to limit their screen time to 2 hours a day.
But I mean, if they don't use any screen time on that day, that's actually more of a plus, isn't it?
Or just limit how much.
Well, maybe it's good that they don't use any screen time on that day, But then if they use it for 4 hours the next day, it's actually hurting them. The issue, the reason this came up was, I don't know if you remember, Hannah was having headaches, and we didn't know why, what was causing the headaches. Mm-hmm. And one of the suggestions was that she was spending too much time in front of screens, and the doctor recommended that we limit the screen time to 2 hours per day.
Have you already?
You should just give her more caffeine. You should just give her more caffeine.
He also recommended limiting her caffeine intake.
Oh, limiting her caffeine intake.
Yes, Michael, because that's what kids need is more caffeine and stuff.
Glenn suggested saving to a maximum number of hours. And
like they can save up and buy an extra hour on Saturday or something.
Yeah.
Like
for
that,
double the cost, they can buy an extra hour.
Hey.
But like, I guess my thing too is, I mean, especially with doctor suggestions like that, where they're just kind of shooting at problems in the air, you'd be able to tell a little bit easier, like if she didn't watch TV for the entire week and then watched it all day Saturday and then got a headache, but hadn't had headaches all the previous week, then you would be like, all right, you're getting headaches because of your screen time.
Right.
It's also a good time to work in a lesson on supply and demand.
Glenn suggested having a maximum number of hours that they could save up to. But yeah, I think
limit the money supply.
Yeah, and the way you would do that would be as if you did what Johnny was saying, you charge double for additional screen time past 2 hours. So if they did want to save up till Saturday, the most they would be able to get is half of what they had saved up throughout the week. So you'd be limiting their screen time throughout the week because they wouldn't watch any. They'd save it up till Saturday, and then Saturday they would only be able to watch half of what they would have been able to watch without.
That's a good idea.
By the way, backbreaking work typically will prevent a child from spending too much time in front of a TV. So there's always that route, sweatshop-wise.
Are you kidding me? My parents lived by the child labor rule. We lived on 88 acres, and my dad's theory was if there's time to watch TV, there's time to do something on the farm.
Yeah, my dad, conveniently, when he decided to get lazy in his midlife, he stopped doing everything and anything with the lawn that he could and put us to work on doing it. And we actually did have quite a large yard at the time. It was a big challenge to do it, and that wasn't even a farm. But I mean, just anything, just make sure that there's.
So Proctor, go buy a farm. That'll solve all your problems.
No, you can have them build something. You can have them cut down trees. You could have them cut down trees. You could have them build things. You could have them, I don't know,
Glenn
my son, likes to do stuff like that. He loves playing with Legos, and he actually, for Christmas, he asked for a hammer, a hammer, and nails.
There you go.
My
he's gonna be a carpenter. There you go.
Like I said, we grew up on a farm, and my grandma used to make everybody pecan or walnut pie.
Ooh.
And we had walnut trees in our front yard, and when they were green, and like that green dyes everything, clothes, skin, could never get it off. My grandma, she's like 87 years old, she would be like, "You kids ought to pick up these walnuts," and like pay us 5 cents every walnut we picked up. That money added up quick.
I bet.
And we would sit out there all day, like shaking the limbs on the trees to get the walnuts to fall.
I got me an iPad coming.
Yeah, that was way before iPads.
Yeah.
I got me an Etch-a-Sketch.
Yeah, whatever. There's always something. Or Legos. Oh, and send your kids out to play in the mud.
Those.
So send your kids out. So if they like little like action figures or something like that, take their box of action figures and then throw them in the mud one day after it rains, and then tell them to go, pick them up and play with them. That's what I recommend. I think our kids' immune systems need to be bolstered.
You're a hateful bastard, Michael.
Nothing's wrong with playing in the mud.
No, but something's wrong with Michael.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Evidently, Michael had issues with somebody throwing his action figures
He's
in the
got
mud.
some daddy issues, I guess. Some little mud and throwing your toys in the mud.
Well, you know.
So you hear that, Proctor? Go throw your kids' screens in the mud. And make them watch in the mud.
You like this Kindle, huh?
Go read in the mud.
3D what? 3 Pam! 3D mud ass!
Or
Playing Promise the whole time.
teach your kids. It helps if you have two of them. Having just one, it's hard to entertain.
Are you talking about mud or kids?
Yeah, because when you have two, you can make them fight each other for entertainment, right, Michael?
My parents.
No, of course not.
My parents were fortunate and had two at one time, and we've been fighting each other since the womb days.
Oh, wow. Wow.
But we fight each other out of love.
But it's attention, they keep themselves occupied, whether it be fighting or just playing together or whatever. At least they're passing time. Oh, and go out and buy your kids, if they want to spend time in front of the screen, get them something like a little bit more better. Like
Michael, it has been proven that you are not Mr. Parenting advice.
No, but get an original Nintendo.
Get a kid.
Get an original Nintendo for
And then
it.
throw it in the mud.
Get a kid.
Kid.
Throw it in the mud.
My dad did that once to my brother. My brother didn't clean up his room, and so my dad went in there, opened up the window, and threw everything in his room, everything out the window, and made him pick it all up. That's what my dad did. So I cleaned my room.
Mm-hmm.
But at least, it was muddy that day too.
Maybe next week we'll find out what he did to you.
No. Well, I actually
That's
was
not
always
going
the
to
good
involve
one.
a puppet, is it?
I was always the good one, because I saw how badly my brother was.
Sounds like you were the scared one.
Yeah.
Well, something like that. Yeah, my brother got the worst of it actually. So.
Did they make you fight for entertainment?
No, they never did that. We just did that on our own. Like he took a 2x4 full of nails, and he hit me in the face with it, and he got really in trouble for that one.
Oh, nice.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, I mean he just I got something that he didn't, and he was jealous. So.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that was an excellent conversation for today.
Please send your hate mail to Michael at...
Why for you no work?
Well, I did talk to John earlier. He is interested in, or he would like to do the show, be on the show tomorrow and talk about Bitcoin miners.
Oh yeah, your guy. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Sounds
Awesome. We would definitely be interested in having you for that. So I am thinking about going more, but I don't know. It's a hard choice. There's a lot of
What are you
factors
talking about?
involved.
Oh, more what?
Bitcoin miners.
Oh, you don't have enough money. I see.
Oh, didn't we talk about this before you go dumping
Your
tens of
38
thousands of
cents or
dollars?
something that you've made so far is not.
$1. I made $1.
Is this up to $1?
Yeah,
Wow.
$1 for a week.
And the carbon emissions to produce that dollar is enough to.
Just another year, and he'll have his money back from the miner.
Well, does that dollar take into account the electricity that you used?
No,
No.
just the miner.
Just the miner, yeah.
But that's part of the thing that I was thinking about. Like, that's part of the factors that you have to take into account is the power and options and things. But like I was saying, I have been wanting to set up a solar panel system, and that would be a good reason to set up a solar panel system.
$50,000 later, he'll have another dollar in his pocket.
That would actually be a good deal.
Well, but that's like we've talked about. I mean, would be the required step. You need to basically cut your energy expenses, and either you do that by geographic location, living somewhere where energy is cheap, to the point of it being free, or you go solar or wind or water or something, natural energy. And invest in good batteries. By the way, one thing. Oh yeah, I wanted to mention to everybody. So they took basically lithium ion batteries, and they adapted the technology to the batteries that the power plants use to store power. And what are they, chain batteries or something? I can't remember what they're called, but they've been able to dramatically increase their storage capacity, and so this is apparently going to improve our ability to store energy during high production times during the day for solar, obviously, and then when there's not at night, or when the wind ain't blowing, or whatever the case is, to dump those things back into the system. That really hasn't been effective or terribly effective previously, but that should be now. And so I think a combination of solar technology and these improved batteries are really going to be the solution to our problems. But what is the entry level for that? What can you get by with a cost-effective solar panel that's going to produce enough power? You can all buy solar panels. I mean, solar panels, and a solar calculator, whatever. It's proven workable technology, but our PCs, the miners, they're using tons of power. And I don't know if it's feasible right now to run those off of a solar array, at least not one that's small. And then where are you going to put this array? You have enough yard space for it, or is it going to go up on the roof, or what?
Yeah, normally they would go on the roof.
Okay.
And that's what's held me back, is because to get a solar power system that would be able to run anything besides my just general lights that I would have to have like at least 20 or 30 panels on my roof, and at least like 20 or 30 batteries, and it just wouldn't be economical to invest that amount right off. So those are things, but starting off with a small one, like just doing the Bitcoin miners and getting the power for those for free, would be an awesome way to start off with that project, and wouldn't be as much of an investment.
Well, speaking of energy, I wanted to replace all the light bulbs here in the office with LED light bulbs, but an average cost on LED light bulbs is about $10 a light bulb, and that was going to be quite a few light bulbs. But I just discovered, I think it was this weekend, Walmart now has an LED light bulb. It's a 60 watt equivalent for $2.44 a light bulb. I posted a link in the chat, but that was the cheapest I've seen them so far.
That's what I have up here is LEDs. In Johnny's room, we have one LED. I got a pack or something, I think, for really cheap. It was like one of those Amazon sale deal things. See how much they were. Yeah, I was looking at those as well. I did actually just get both of my front storm floodlights are LED lights. And that's a huge savings cost because those are normally 90 watts and you can get it for 17 watts instead. So
awesome.
That's a big difference. The 4-pack is currently unavailable. And they don't tell me how much it was. Nope, they won't tell me how much it was. Awesome. It was not expensive. I want to say it was like $10 or $20 for all 4 of them. But they are super bright. It takes a little while for it to warm up, but once they warm up, like, they are super bright. So keep that in mind if you have ones for that.
The Walmart ones were surprisingly bright. I was afraid they might not be for the price, but they were.
Yeah. Also, you can normally check with your power company, and they will actually give you the CFC or the little curly Q fluorescent lights.
Yeah.
And yeah, everyone, if you haven't checked with your power company will literally give you an entire box worth of those. I did it last year, and they gave me more than enough lights to cover all the lights in my house and have a few left over. So very, very good, and that cuts your savings in half already from there.
Yeah, I've been using those for a while, but I wanted to switch out to the LEDs.
Yeah. Glenn was saying that he has a 3 kilowatt solar grid, and it cut his power consumption from 27 kilowatts a day to less than 10 kilowatts a day. So that's a huge difference versus how many kilowatt solar system he has. I was actually looking into, because they'll give you a lot of tax rebates and stuff for that right now, and you can actually hook it up to the power grid so that if you're not using any power, that power generated by your solar system will go back into the grid, and they'll actually pay you for that power. So you can actually, if you go on vacation for a month and you don't have any of your lights or electricity or items on, you could end up possibly coming back to having checks from the power company.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. It's highly unlikely that you would end up getting paid if you're using the electricity during that time, unless you got a super expensive solar setup. But also, it was looking at that if you do want to invest in solar and you're serious about it, you can normally get them. The best route to go is usually leasing, and a lot of places will have free installation offers if you purchase from them. So, but those normally you're looking at a $20,000 to $30,000 investment over 30 years. I think is usually their leasing options for those. So,
one of the things I didn't like about the CFL bulbs is they contain mercury, where the LEDs don't. So you have to be concerned about disposing your CFL lights.
Mm-hmm.
I still have a bucket of them, just that are dead, but I don't know what to do with them, or because I don't want to just throw them away.
You have to actually take them to the dump.
Yeah. I mean, I can take them to the hazardous waste disposal place, but that's a trip I don't want to take.
Who doesn't like going to the hazardous waste disposal place? Kids, I know you got screen time, but who wants to go to the HWD? Oh, Glenn's actually gotten checks from the power company. My biggest thing with going solar is trying to decide if I want to do a portable solar system or a permanent one. The permanent one is obviously much cheaper to invest in, but I don't plan on living here for 15 to 30 years, so I don't want to invest heavily in it. And if I'm going to be moving, setting it up and then taking it down and then transporting it, because if I don't go with a grid connector, I'd have to get a battery set up, and batteries are freaking heavy, so transporting those batteries would be extremely expensive just on its own. So, but that's what I like about it, is that you could possibly have your house set up for off-grid living where you don't even need a power connection anymore. You just have a room full of batteries that get recharged via your solar panels. But to run everything, including the AC units that we have, I calculated that I would need about 95 batteries set up, and then about 57 100-watt panels. And I don't have enough room on my roof for 57 panels, so I would have to have 57 panels spread between my roof and my backyard. And then I have to worry about the fact that I have a huge tree that likes to just drop limbs the size of cars every so often, so that would suck if solar panels got destroyed by a falling limb. And it's not like you can put a cage over them, because then you got shadows that you don't get your solar light from. So, all right, well, that was some good talks and discussions.
That was a good show.
Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow at 6 to go over Bitcoin mining with John G. So, look forward to that, and hope everyone's had a good week and is looking forward to the weekend. We will talk to you all later. Goodbyes, internets.
Goodbye, everybody.